abandoned towns to underground vaults of death, these are the top 10 most terrifying and creepiest places in the world that you would not like to make your next holiday destination. Number 10. The Riddle House. The Riddle House in Palm Beach Country, Florida was originally a funeral parlor. The Victorian house was dismantled and rebuilt in Yesteryear Village at the South Florida Fairgrounds. In the 1920s, the house became privately owned by Carl Riddle. Joseph, one of the Riddle's former employees, committed suicide by hanging himself in the attic of the house. Joseph, for whatever reason, hated men and displays this hatred by attacking men who ever enter the attic to this day. Number 9. Shades of Death Row. This New Jersey road winds through 7 miles of countryside, and along that stretch, it gives us no definitive clues as to the origin of its eerie name. For those wondering, Shades of Death is not a nickname given by the locals, but is in fact the road's official name. While the explanation for this highly unusual name has been lost, many theories abound. Some say that the murderous highwaymen would rob and kill those along the road. Number 8. Byberry Mental Asylum. The Philadelphia State Hospital at Byberry, or known simply as Byberry, was the poster image for patient maltreatment. The hospital, in its most popular form, was founded in 1907 and known as the Byberry Mental Hospital. It exceeded its patients' limit quickly, maxing out over 7,000 in 1960. It housed everything from the mentally challenged to the criminally insane. Due to its atrocious conditions and the subhuman treatment of its patients, the hospital was closed and abandoned in 1990, so as they say. Number 7. The Mines of Paris. The seemingly infinite tunnels that run below the streets of Paris should not be confused with the catacombs of Paris. Although the mines are also mistakenly referred to as the catacombs, the mines are now unkept, unpatrolled, and unsafe. As far as legends go, ancient cults and creatures patrol the depths, spirits dwell in infinite shadows, and if one wanders deep enough and survives, they may even enter Hades itself. As far as reality goes, those legends can take a back seat. The tunnels stretch for close to 600 kilometers throughout the Parisian underground, and most of them are unmapped. Saying it is easy to get lost is an understatement. Number 6. Aoki-Gihara Forest. Also known as the Suicide Forest or Sea of Trees, is a 35 square kilometer forest that lies at the northwest base of Mount Fuji in Japan. The forest contains a number of rocky, icy caverns, a few of which are popular tourist destinations. The forest has a historic association with demons in Japanese mythology, and is a popular place for suicides. Despite numerous signs in Japanese and English urging people to reconsider their actions, many are still doing it to this day. Number 5. Helltown. Whether based on a kernel of truth or cooked up in the heads of a creative visitor, the persistent legends of Helltown add to the creep factor. The steep Stanford Road drop-off, immediately followed by a dead end, is aptly named the end of the world. If you get stuck at this dead end for too long, according to ghost story enthusiasts, you may meet your end at the hands of many members of the endless parade of freaks patrolling the woods. Number 4. Leap Castle. While this Irish castle is perhaps the most popular location featured on this list, it is worth recapping the long and often gruesome history. The castle is rumoured to be haunted by a vast number of spirits, including a violent, hunched beast known only as the Elemental. It is most recognisable by the accompanying smell of rotting flesh and sulphur. Number 3. Doll Island. They're in the trees and on the ground, bunched together on wooden fence posts and hanging from clotheslines like laundry left to dry. Their dead eyes stare at you from half-empty sockets. This island was once the property of Don Julian Santana, a local farmer. Legend has it that in 1950 he saw a little girl drowned in the canal, and her spirit began haunting the place. Terrified, Don Julian started collecting dolls to protect himself from her ghost. He gathered them from trash heaps and hung them around the island like creepy Christmas ornaments. Number 2. Winchester Mystery House. In San Jose there is a house, the Winchester House. Sprawling 160-room complex designed like a maze with mile-long hallways, secret passages, dead ends, doors opening to blank walls, and staircases leading to the ceiling. In 1884, Winchester started construction of her new San Jose mansion, which has gone on non-stop for 38 years right up until her death. The Winchester mansion eventually grew so big you could, in all seriousness, get lost in it. And getting lost was the idea. The crazy twists and turns and dead ends were intended to confuse the ghosts within. Number 1. Pripyat. Named after the nearby Pripyat River, Pripyat was founded on 4th of February 1970, the ninth nuclear city in the Soviet Union by the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It was officially proclaimed a city in 1979 and had grown to a population of 49,360 before being evacuated a few days after the 26th of April 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Now the city is left with no one around, not even a whisper to be heard. Or is it? Thank you for watching this week's Top 10, and remember to stay tuned for next week's. Until then, have a good one.